Hi there. I'm just making a short video today to introduce you to three websites that I use with my students to practice math skills. The first wanted to show you is the one you're looking at right now. It's called Sumdog, SUMDOG. I like this website for a number of reasons, but I think it's particularly useful now for teachers who want to put together a class roster. It essentially it begins with a sort of an assessment. The first 100 questions that students do, it sort of evaluates their areas of strength and areas that they need to work on. And then it feeds them those questions that will reinforce the skills that they are struggling with. So what you're looking at right now is the sort of main page that every teacher sees. You see a bunch of students that some of whom are in my class and some of whom are in a different division. And it shows you that only one's been practicing today, which is, fine. It's the middle of the March break. Anyways, here are a few of the features that it has. For starters, it's a lot of games that the students play against one another, which is nice because it sets up the social keeps them in contact with their peers, which is a big part of schooling. For teachers, you can look at setting practice work. So this is Math 6, the name of my group. I'm going to choose some skills here. Right now there's 222 skills that we can work through. I think I'm going to stick to something simple that we've worked on recently. And I'm looking at, let's do graphs, charts, and tables, which is the last thing that we were working on before the break, and we just want it for grade 6. So that limits me to 2 skills, calculate with line graphs comparing. So I'm going to choose those 2. That would get a little repetitive. So if I was doing like just 1 day's worth of math, maybe I'd get them to work on these 2 skills. If I'm doing more than that, I will probably add the last thing that we worked on, including where's fractions, decimals and fractions, again with 6, and I will choose all 7 skills there, and I'm done there. I've given them basically a week's work. I can set the date for when I want them to finish this challenge, so that would be give them a week to work on it, and then I can set challenge. And just like that, what did I forget? The title, review. How about that? And we'll call it there. The correct answer, it's looking for 50 correct answers before it says that the skill has been mastered, and then it won't ask any more questions like that. So what I just did was probably too many. It would be 350 correct answers, which is excessive. But it does allow you to sort of customize things a little bit for them, and then with reports, you're able to look and see the class report, who's working on what skills, where they're struggling. And it's a useful tool. Most importantly, you can see who's actually doing work and who is not. The next website I wanted to show you is Manga High. Now, Manga High is very similar to Sumdog in the sense that it's got you can assign assign particular skills for students to work on. But Manga High I like a little bit more for the games that it has. So I'm just going to show you one of these games here. And the kids have been working on angles, so I'll select a tangled web, which I know is working on angles. Just there, Transtar is good for rotations and slides and all sorts of things like that. But here is the spider game, whatever it's called, a tangled web. And one thing I'll mention here is that you have to have Adobe, you have to have your Flash player enabled or it won't work. So I have enabled Flash for this website. So if I play, a little bit loud there, I'm going to turn it down. You got to get ITSE to the little portal here. So we'll just start with level 1, and very straightforward. You've got your arrow keys. You got to eat the blue flies to open the portal. Now, to get this yellow line to open up, I have to figure out what the angle is. And I'm going to go ahead and say that I think that this is probably 55 degrees. And imagine that it is. Now, the line is solid again. I can walk around, catch the other blue fly. Oh, missed it. And now the portal's open. Oh, had a little accident there. And there you go. So I can do the level select. That's sort of an upper level, I think. I think I'm missing the first stage. But it's just a way of practicing different skills. That's Manga High, M-A-N-G-A. And if you're familiar with Prodigy, it's the same people that do Prodigy that create Manga High. And they have a lot of different games that are quite useful for all grades. So Sigma Prime, for example, is finding the prime factors. Ice Maybe, which has got to be said the best name for a game ever. Fast estimation with basic number calculation. So this would be good for grade 4s. Deepest Ocean. This is a very. I'll show you this one too. It's very simple. It's greater than less than. You could play this with. Well, Molly will play this, and she's in grade 2. So, and all you have a little submarine, and well, let me just show you. It's very straightforward. So is 5 less than 10? Oh, I need the mouse. Sorry. 5 is less than 10, so I just have to, less than 0. 5 is greater than 0, but it's not greater than 10. Oh, that's embarrassing. And greater than 0, so as I eat all of these things, it's pretty low. There you are. 5 is greater than 2, less than 8, greater than 4, etc. You get the idea? Good. All right, the last website that I wanted to show you very quickly, and this is, I think, one of the better ones, is Lure of the Labyrinth. Now, this is probably for grades 5 to 8. It's got a great narrative to it. It's very much a game involving mathematical thinking as opposed to the others, which are, essentially quizzes dressed up as as games. This I feel is like a real game, and it involves a lot of mathematical thinking. So this is your character. It's Lure of the Labyrinth, L-U-R-E of the Labyrinth. You're this character. You're walking around trying to solve mysteries, and it plays very much like a video game in the sense that there's like little to no instructions. So I'm just going to show you some of the rooms that I've already been to. This is my Tasty Pet Communicator. If I go to the rooms that I've already completed or worked on, the employee cafeteria, for example, it's all about fractions and ratios and getting that correct. But I will show you the testing lab, which it's all very spooky, scary. So I would say, yeah, grade 5 to grade 8. So for this particular one, what it's giving you a recipe of eyeballs, carrots, flowers, and ladybugs, and it's asking you to figure out how to create like 2 eyeballs using 18, 7, and 4, containers of 18, 17, 7, and 4. This is like an old riddle that used to be like the hose in the pail riddle. Well, this gives you a lot more practice doing that. I'm just going to do the ladybug because it's super easy and I can show you how it works. Again, if you were doing this with your children at home, I would just let them play and until they got frustrated. Like a video game, most children don't start by reading the instructions. They start by downloading it and playing. And this game is similar in the sense that it gives you a chance to just sort of explore and learn. So now I have 7 in this. What I want to do is put it on top of the 4 and pour it in there. So now, if you do the math, 7 take away 4 is 3, and that's what the recipe over there calls for. 3 ladybugs. I put it in the big vase there. This game can be a little frustrating if you introduce it as math practice, and kids sort of expect to be given instructions. There's no instructions at this game. They just have to start playing and figure it out. And if they do that, then I think they'll enjoy it. Anyways, those are the 3 math websites I recommend if you're um, looking for something to do with your children at home, or you're looking to do with your class. These are the 3 that I use in my grade 6-7 class. I think SumDog is good for any age. Manga High is good for any age, and Lure of the Labyrinth really grades 5 to grade 8. The math is a bit more complicated. And anyways, I will review some language arts materials soon, and socials and science and languages. So until then, goodbye.